Basics of microservices.
Just the basic, yeah.
So still, I'll give you some demo. So let's say before microservices, what happens? So we recently in my company actually migrated from the API structure to the microservices level. So before microservice, what happens? Everything related to code is basically present in one particular structure. So these are small services slash APIs. Okay. Everything is present in this, and this is called a monolith. Okay. So the whole code structure is present under one particular entity. Okay. So before microservices was used to happen, we used to have one particular DB and that's it. L2 alpha staging. So in this particular DB, we had all the tables. Uh, so my application is basically related to micro loans. So what used to happen is customer used to apply micro loans. Lender used to register as a lenders to provide fund for the loans. And then when customer used to apply micro loans, if some part of amount is deducted from the lender. Okay. So everything used to be in single. So see, there will be multiple data sources present under a single entity. So the issue with that is, so let's say you need to make some changes in lender only. So for that, you have to deploy all the services, like services related to bank, services related to collection, and so on, right? So it used to take a lot of time, and there was lot of dependency also. So in case something fails in bank, we are not able to deploy lender. In case something fails in e-com, we are not able to deploy lender. Okay. So to remove all this, to make the system faster, to make them not reliable on different services, we move to microservices. So in microservices, we so this particular case, we took it from here. So this is a, let's say, lender component. We took it from here and then created a new lender microservices. Okay. Now this can still interact with this. Okay, but their dependency is not there. So if I want to make some changes here, I can make the changes here. Sorry, I can make the changes here without depending on this. And then this can register. So this works on a producer consumer concept or a publisher subscriber concept. So this is my producer. So any data. So now all the lenders are registering here and all the lender data is present here. Now if somebody from the user service needs some data from lender service, what he can do? So lender will publish data in some queue. So we are using, so there are two popular queue system right now for microservices. One is Apache Kafka and the second one is from AWS SQS, simple queue system, right? So this publisher publishes all the messages here. For Google Cloud has its own PubSub mechanism. AWS has its own. So every cloud server has its own. And the free one or open source one is Apache Kafka. So this microservice land microservices publishes all the data here in this SQS or Kafka. And then this consumer polls data at every particular interval, let's say every 30 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then after polling the data, it gives the data to user or any particular transaction API or bank API, right? So this is the concept of microservices. Okay,
Okay.
Akshi, clear?
Yeah.
Now the aggregate part which you're talking about. So microservices, this is an integration, right? This system integration with microservices integration. So for this, we have multiple integration patterns. So how will this monolith APIs will connect or get the data from the microservices, different microservices? This is one such example. Lender was one such example. Now we are creating microservices for loan also. So there would be a multiple microservices, and similarly these components will move here to here, right? So this one only has, let's say, our client mobile application has some basic functionality related to users only, and everything else happens at the back end. So for everything which happens at the back end, we'll create a microservices, and then there will be some simple APIs for the users. Now to integrate between this monolith APIs to microservices, we need some mechanism. So that mechanism is called actually microservice integration patterns. So there are number of patterns like API gateway, aggregator, uh, chain microservices pattern, and so on. And most companies uses aggregator. Why? I'll tell you why. So now what happens? This user monolith API doesn't need only lender microservices data, right? So let's say there are, sorry, uh, uh, there are 4 microservices. This one is lender, this one is bank, this one is loan, this one it's a, let's say, e-com, right? Now this monolith API needs data from all of them. It need data from this, it need data from this, it need data from this, it need data from this. Okay. Now it needs data from all of these. The problem is the singular, so each, so lender provides a lender only data, loan provides a loan only data, ecom provide ecom related data, bank provide bank related data. But the problem is this monolith user API needs data in a combined form. So it needs data from lender also, from DB also, sorry, bank also, and for ecom also, and for loan also. And it needs data in a relatable manner. So it needs a relation between a lender and a bank. It needs a relationship between ecom and bank. It needs a relationship between loan and lender, and so on. So what happens? So what we do is basically to solve this problem, we create a common microservices or composite microservice, which takes data from all those 4 microservices, right? And then put that in a composite microservices. And then this one monolith API interacts with this composite microservices. Am I being clear here?
I didn't understood the last part about the composite microservice.
Okay, so I'll tell you how. So there are, so I was telling you that monolith API needs to interact with all these four different microservices, right? The problem with that is basically if this monolith API interacts with these 4 services independently, it will not get the relationship between those, right? Relationship, I mean to say, let's say lender is one of the lenders, lender could be a bank, lender could be a private entity, lender could be a individual person, could be anyone, right? Now so lender contains all the data related to lenders, but this doesn't have the relationship between banks. Let's say bank could be SDFC bank, ICICI bank, and so on, but there would be some relationship. So this bank have some relationship with lender, right? Similarly, these banks have some relationship with e-commerce. So in e-commerce, let's say Flipkart, Amazon, all these e-commerce are there, but e-commerce provides a gateway related to payment, related to one bank, let's say ICICI. So there is a relationship there also. And in loans, so some individual will provide some kind of loan, let's say they will provide personal loan only, or banks provide multiple kind of loans. So there is a relationship between loans also. So all these 4 different microservices has a relationship between them. So when monolith interacts with each of these microservices, the data returns in a single entity. Now this data needs to be transformed in a understandable and composite manner, right? So let's say I will get a lender common composite lender microservices. I'll create a composite lender service which has data which can tell me that this is a lender, this is the type of a lender like bank or individual or so on. E-commerce wise, this has integration with Amazon, right? And it can provide this. So transforming all 4 tables of data in one table, and it has a relationship between all these microservices. Now, individually, this composite API will take care of transformation and calling all those API, but this monolith API will only interacts with this composite one.
Correct. Yeah. I understood this time.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what aggregator is. Aggregator means we are composing or we are making a one solution rather than creating a different solution.
Yeah.
Most of the companies uses this approach, aggregator approach. That's why you see your company is using, but there are other approach also like API gateway. So rather than creating a common composite microservices, they create a gateway, API gateway. And now these monolith APIs can interact with those APIs directly using API gateway. So this can say that API is lender.com/API/bank. So it can get all the data related to the bank with it using gateway. And in gateway, inside that gateway, we can have all these microservices installed. So these are the two popular ones, but the most popular one is aggregator pattern.